Good day. This is James Spencer from beautiful Long Beach, California here. It's November, beautiful 80-degree weather here on the coast. And I'm a lesson-based teacher that specifically teaches all genres of voice. I teach music history, ear training, music theory, and composition. And a lot of my vocalists on Lesson Face have asked, well, what are some really good tips to keep my voice tip-top shape through the fall and winter season when, weather and cold season can be kind of brutal and, how do I just keep my voice good? And so here's some very simple tips for all the lesson face voice students out there and for my students is number one, diet. And one thing I tell my singers that if you really want to have a great career as a singer, or you're trying to get that part in the musical or whatever, you really want to avoid dairy. Now, it seems like it would go without saying, dairy is obviously known for producing a lot of phlegm and so forth. But what I have found is those that eat dairy regularly have more vocal problems. I myself avoid all dairy, and there's many wonderful alternatives. For example, almond milk is an alternative. Rice milk. There's a lot of things that are just as nutritious, but might be better choices for vocalists. Personally, I also avoid soy milk because soy milk is also a cold property, so it acts very similar to milk, producing phlegm. So again, better choices might be rice milk, almond milk, hemp milk for your instead of dairy. Another thing I tell my students is to avoid any kind of cold properties on the digestion, meaning, if you're drinking like a lot of ice water, iced tea, very phlegmy, ice constricts vocal cords. So usually it's better to do either room temperature. If it is cold, obviously, warming things are going to be much better on the body. So avoiding things like ice cream, those things kind of go without saying. Obviously, avoiding smoke and secondhand smoke, I always say that's very, very important. So if you're going to be performing, you always want to check out your venues to make sure if you are, like, for example, a rock or jazz singer, that nobody's smoking in your face, okay? Especially in the winter, I've seen a lot of singers come down with bronchitis and things from secondhand smoke. So not so good. Okay, some other things to avoid that you might not know about is soft drinks really are a no-no. The carbonation, the corn syrups in them, they're very drying to the vocal cords, and they're also very phlegming up of the vocal cords. So I would say avoid soft drinks altogether. Better choices would be sticking with more like the herbal tea groups. And you can do a little caffeine, but stick more with the antioxidants, meaning if you're going to have a little caffeine in the morning to get you going, do green tea as a much better choice than coffee. Coffee is extremely acidic and can be also, when your immune system's down, it tends to produce canker sores, cold sores, and things when you get too much acidity in the mouth. And so forth. So I usually say avoid that. However, a little bit can be good if you're having bad allergies. So if you find yourself sneezing, coffee at like half a cup with no milk in it, very little sugar, can be, kind of act like an antihistamine. Okay, another thing that I suggest, and again, avoiding, caffeine and so forth, is also, of course, avoiding alcohol. Very bad on the voice. There are specific teas that are very good for different seasons. Like if you're feeling very congested, ginger tea is excellent for warming as antibiotic. It's good in cold season. Peppermint tea, menthol, tends to clear out sinuses and the gook in the throat as well. Very, very good. In addition, of course, obviously staying hydrated, drinking tons of water. You would not believe how much water I drink a day. I teach all day long, so I like to do spa water. So what I do is I get spring water. I add some minerals to my water. I add lemon and sometimes some cucumber and things are just very oxidizing. That flushes your system all day. So that's very, very good to be staying hydrated. And another thing that's very good is using what's called a neti pot. You can look that up on any health food store like CVS Pharmacy, and drugstores and things. And it's nasal irrigation, so it's a little pot that looks like a genie lamp, and you fill it with some sea salts, you put it in your nose, and it will clear you out. works much better than any kind of spray, because when you spray something up your sinuses, it could lodge something back up, cause some swelling, and then people get addicted to those sprays. So I say, unless you are extremely sick, stay away from Afrin and those kind of sprays. Go more with natural nasal irrigation. Also, specific herbs and things help to clear out. So, for example, in the cold season, doing warm soups like the old standby, like the chicken noodle soup, the vegetable soups, the broths, stocks with some good herbs like ginger specifically is very good. Things like turmeric, things help to expel. Also, in the winter, things like cinnamon and the mulling spices. Like, for example, a little bit of cider with some clove and some of those kind of mulling spices are very good for immunity and keeping you in tip-top shape. So some very simple things there that can really help your voice. Okay, I look forward for any voice students out there on Lesson Face that's looking for a teacher. I would love to work with you. I work on all styles. I'm also an artist, developer, and agent. So for those singers out there that are a little bit more advanced and need some help about how to kind of get their career going in the industry, I am an industry coach here for Long Beach and LA County. So I work with, for example, auditions for American Idol, different things like that out here in this area. So can work with a lot of pop and rock singers that are looking to kind of make it into the industry. Okay, thank you guys, and I look forward to working with you. This is James Spencer from Lesson Face. Thanks again.